Well, good morning, Kim. How are you?
I'm so good this morning, Andrew, and I'm very excited to be speaking to you.
I cannot think that your level of excitement is higher than mine. Now, folks, now Kim and I've got like a bit of a story. So we have gone from being work buddies to really close friends, and I could not have you on because I wanted to share our friendship, but also you are a brilliant educator. And I'm so proud because I was thinking of it this morning, Kim. Not that we want to say schools, I think it's three schools we've worked together. Is that right? Three different schools?
Absolutely, yes. Over three schools.
See, I just kept stalking you and I wouldn't let
Mm.
you go. It's like where you're going, I'm coming because
No, I was like, you're going where I'm going.
because to be really candid and honest, our philosophy sits hand in hand.
hmm
And then look, the beauty of education is that you're entitled to have your own philosophy, and that's what makes the world go round. But when you find a kindred spirit that shares your philosophy, there's a significant bond built. And that's honestly how I feel about us as educators, but more importantly, you as a friend. I am blessed to have you in my little world, Kim. I'm very blessed. Um, so do you want to just introduce obviously your role or what makes, what's education mean to you? And then we'll get on to your three tips because I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Okay, I'd love to do that, Andrea. First of all, I'd just like to say congratulations to you, though. Like 18 years
Oh,
educating and supporting and inspiring fellow teachers. That's just amazing. It truly
thank you.
is. So well done on that.
Thank
That's
you.
huge. And I did want to just really touch base about when we did meet,
Yeah,
because I
cool.
don't know. I think I may have told you this story, but it's so important to me and where I sit. So about 12 years ago, I was lucky enough to be part of the primary math specialist program, and went down with my team, and we went down to Melbourne, and we were so excited because you were presenting, and it
Oh,
was huge. Like, you were presenting to probably about 150 people, and it was
yes,
like
happy
our
days.
dream. And I took away so many notes, like copious notes. You would not believe. I still have them, Andrea.
Oh,
And from that, I took away so many things that I could just go back. At that stage, I was in the classroom, and also doing primary math specialist. And I took back so many things that I put straight into practice, which is what you always want from really good professional learning. But you also want to be challenged. So I went away and I had many of my thoughts were challenged, and I then adapted. Some things I solidified with my practice, other things that I actually changed. And went back to school, and we were just like chat about how incredible you were. And I had this dream, like, wouldn't it be great if we actually got to work with Andrea Hilbrick? Like, you were right up there on the top.
God,
And
that's so
went to the
kind.
principal, and she was like, well, I believe in you guys as a team, and I believe in what you believe in. So why don't you approach her? And I'm like, well, can I really? And I sent you off that first email, and I couldn't believe it. You responded.
Oh,
And
Kim.
no, no, this is absolutely true. And then you came and you worked with our staff, over many years, and like you said, over three schools. You've
Yes.
worked with us with maths, with writing, with reading, with integrated studies. And I love your ability to then take it to other places, like the importance of talk, the cognitive load, planning, the curriculum, every actual aspect. You have just really blown me away. So
Oh,
thank you, Andrea. That
wow.
no,
You've
that's the truth.
I'm a bit teary.
How
You've
we
made my day and my week and my month. Thank you. Thank you. That's so
Well,
kind.
thank you for all of that time. So I suppose part of my journey is that I have been teaching for over 30 years. And in that, I've been in the classroom, which I've absolutely, that's my passion, is actually working with children,
Mm.
our students. But I've also had many leadership roles, including the primary math specialist, then moving on to be an assistant principal, and for a little while, an actual principal too of a very small school as well. At the moment, I'm back being an assistant principal and working with an incredible staff, and also some amazing students. So that's fantastic. And haven't we
Ah,
seen a lot of change over the last 30 years? but some things really, really stay the same. And that's where one of my most important takeaways comes from, the things that stay the same. Is that okay?
Yeah, that is absolutely. I think it's important to us to remind ourselves, especially we have got a lot of change, particularly here in Victoria, folks. If you're listening from another state at the moment, there's significant change and change is important. But yeah, I'd love to hear that. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so my very first takeaway is something that I think will never change, and it's part of our profession. And I know that some of your other incredible guests have spoken about it as well, but it is so important, and that's the relationship building that we have with our students, with our peers, and with the community, but especially with our students. I always talk to our pre-service teachers and our graduates and the teachers that I'm coaching or mentoring about the fact that if we have those really strong relationships, we can actually learn everything else.
Yeah.
But that relationship building is at the core of everything. So I have a few little ways that I love to do them. Is that
Oh,
okay if I
cool.
talk
Yeah,
about those?
go for it. I'm excited.
Oh, well, they're very simple things. Look, I think they're things that every really good educator does. But I think it's important for us to remember and remind ourselves that they do make a huge difference. One of the ones that I do, and this, sometimes people would say, well, it's a lot of time involved in this, but it really sets the scene. So whenever I've been in a classroom, I've taken the time to write a letter to each of the students, outlining who I am, my interests. They always love to hear about, my dog, my favorite books, all those sorts of things, and asking them about theirs. I then send that in the mail because I love that idea
Oh,
of them,
yeah.
running out to the letterbox and,
Yeah.
opening it up and actually
Love it.
getting a letter. So I think that's really important. And I've had really good response from that. So many, many times students have actually written back to me. And also, I found that I've had really good feedback throughout the year just on the impact that that did have on the students. So, when I was the principal of that very small school, which was truly amazing, I actually
Yeah.
wrote to all of the families before we
Oh,
started the
wow,
year.
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to visit you there and I love that school. You were doing amazing things, but so that's so cool, right? So we know what works for our students and like transfer it across to a different audience. I love that idea. Yeah, cool, very cool. And how did that go?
Another thing that
Did they love it?
they did. They absolutely loved it. They came in, with their little letters in their hand, and they're like,
Oh,
"Oh, I love that, that you've got a dog, and I have a dog too, and
yeah,
I love maths as well." So I just think that it was so powerful.
yeah,
Another
great.
thing that I love to do too is at the end of the year. I'm sure most schools have a grade up day where we meet a new class.
Mm.
So I love to have something from that grade up day that I take into the next year. So I take lots of
Oh,
photos of the students.
yeah,
I have
great.
them do some work or whatever it is that they've been learning, and we'll keep that and we have it up so that connection is there from our meeting the previous year to the next year. And I just
Oh.
find that makes that transition that little bit more smooth. So, once again, like I said, nothing groundbreaking, but these
No,
things make a
absolutely
huge.
groundbreaking because you know what? Sometimes we need to remind ourselves because when I present PL, um, I don't I don't necessarily think that I'm teaching anything or all new, but I'm hoping I'm reviving some things people have used in the past. Andrew, you've reminded me of a great dice game, or I love that book, but I haven't used it for ages. Hey Kim, you know the idea about the photo of the kids on that day? I have to
Mhm.
share something just popped up in my mind. So when I work in Perth, the school that I work in has a kinder on site as well. So it goes right up to year 12. So amazing, right? Can you imagine that? It's cool.
Yes, it's
But
huge.
the idea what the kinder teacher did with the photos, so she took photos of the kids when they did their like their kinder visits earlier on, like the previous year, just like as you said at school.
Mhm.
And then what she did, and oh, your grandkids would actually love this, Kim, is that she took the photo of the kids like standing, she deleted the background and printed it out, and then she put them on pieces of wood. So the kids were
Oh,
all
wow.
individual on wood.
Yes,
So when they
yes.
came back to school, she would have them sitting at the station that she wanted to come to, or with their buddy who they were lining up with. So they were all separate pieces of wood, but she could move them to show them where to go or who to sit next to, or they could use it to vote on their favorite book. They'd pick up their person and vote for their favorite book. Oh, she'd have it like who she wanted to sit on the mat or whatever. And that has just reminded me of that cool idea. You know what this is? This is what teachers do best. We get
It
together
is
and
what teachers do best.
we start talking about teaching and we start planning. Look,
I love
oh,
it.
thank you. Thank you
Now,
for making
another
me think.
Oh, I love that idea too. I wish that I'd known that one a few years ago. Another thing that I love to do, and this is really simple, and I'm very passionate about it, is that every single class at the very start of the day, I always meet every single child at the door.
Oh,
And when I do that, I usually have my little, wheelie whiteboard that
yep,
I wheel on over, and I usually have some sort of provocation or some sort of revision, some sort of something to engage them as soon as they walk in. Now, I do this for a reason. I want them to be seen. So I say their name, they
yeah,
see me straight away. They can have an opportunity to
yeah,
respond. They can see what's set for the day.
yeah.
And we have that little bit of a
Love it.
smile straight away between us.
Yeah,
And I never, ever don't do that. I
yeah.
want them to know that they're important. And I think they need to hear their name and they just need to be seen. So that's a really
Oh,
important thing for me.
I love that idea. And then you could even do it, like you could bring some maths in there, like what's your favorite number, which I know you would do because you're like one of the most amazing maths teachers I know. But you could bring in some maths, you could bring in some vocab there, couldn't you? Like,
Yeah, the other day I did one, and it was they'd been doing a unit on fractions,
yep,
and I just was popping into this grade for the morning, so I met them at the door, and I had on the door they were grade three fours, and I had on the sorry not on the door, but I had on the whiteboard
yep.
seven fourths. Is this possible? Yes or no? And they
Oh,
only had to say yes or no. There was no discussion or anything about it, and it
yeah.
was really quite interesting because many children didn't actually think that seven-fourths was a possibility.
Oh, and like,
They weren't
I'm
used to improper fractions. So, yeah.
yeah, and like, how's that for checking for understanding or
Oh,
review?
it's
Like, you
brilliant.
don't need to, like, these are just those teaching moments and responsive teaching. So, from that, you would be able to, if you're the classroom teacher, think about and reflect on what's next. Oh, yeah, I do love that. Yeah.
It
Oh,
also kind of gets them, that they're thinking, they're like, oh, well, no, it can't be Mrs. Carey, definitely not.
yeah.
No, definitely not. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's think about that. And then, you have that opportunity to engage with them on a different level. Another one that I did the other day when I was taking a grade five leadership program was a provocation, and that was, is leadership power? Yes or no?
Oh,
And so once again, they just say yes or no, and then later on we can have a really good conversation about it and discussion. So I really love that for building
oh.
my relationships. I think it's really
And
important.
also critical creative thinking. We're always thinking about how do we building these capabilities in our curriculum. Oh my gosh, Kim, my mind's just like bing, bing, bing now. Like I've just like, I'm hoping I can use it. I'm thinking I'm actually running a PL on Monday.
Mhm.
I'm going to use one of those as the start. I'm going to use one of
Oh,
those.
definitely. I
Yeah.
do with teachers as well. I think it's a great,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a great way of connecting.
And
So
our
I'm
focus is
really,
explicit teaching, Kim. So
oh, I like
I
it.
need to have a think. Okay, sorry.
No,
I'm
no,
in like frenzy here. So excited. Sorry.
no, I'm not sorry. So another thing, I think as educators, we do what we do because we want to have influence,
Mm.
and to have influence, we have to have inclusion and we have to have a sense of community. So in all of my teaching and working with both students and staff, I'm really big and believe on the use of circles. So
Okay.
circles for me are really important, not just at the start of the day for a catch up or at the end of the day just to catch up to see how people have been going, but as part of every lesson. We can gather together in a circle for a learning circle, and I find that it's really powerful because we can see each other and we can
Yeah.
make sure we can hear, we can listen, and once again, it builds into that relationship building, making sure that everybody's being seen and that everybody has that accountability of contributing.
I like that.
So
And we're all
very
equal, aren't we? Like there's not like a hierarchy who's in the front row or yeah, I love that.
okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, it's just a couple more relationship ones that I love.
Oh no, look, I like my mind is like, how can I weave in a circle on Monday? You're actually planning my PL day. Thank you. I appreciate this.
I love it. So this one's probably been the most powerful one that I've had throughout my teaching career, and especially in my role in leadership. Um, So this is one when as soon as you walk out into the playground, um, especially in leadership, you are often bombarded,
Oh
with
yeah.
like, oh, Mrs. Carey this or Mrs. Carey that, I need to do different things, or even as a classroom teacher. So my goal is every single time I walk out into the playground or out of the classroom, I see three students immediately. So
Oh,
whoever's in
okay.
my line of sight,
Yep.
and I go up to one of them straight away and I say, hi, Andrea, how are you today? So once
Oh,
again, your name,
yep.
that face to
Personalize it.
face,
Yep.
personalize it. Oh, I really love how you've been listening, in class lately, or give them some
Mm.
sort of little bit of feedback, and then very quickly onto the next one, like one, two, three,
Yep.
before I'm actually, bombarded with
Yep.
whatever else is happening in the playground. And I found that this has been incredibly powerful for making connections with all students, like right across the school, and not
Yeah.
just those in your classroom. And that relationship building is just like, it's so important in it. It also helps with your behavior management, because if you've got a relationship with somebody,
Yeah.
it's much easier to then ask them to do something that they might find a little bit challenging.
And also your mindset yourself going out on yard duty. Because I look, I have to be honest. And sometimes I used to think, oh, yard duty, I'm going to be bombarded with fix this. You know what I mean? But like for yourself, you're kind of stepping into it in a really positive mindset. And as you said, if it's repeated behavior that you do, the kids know that. So they might be coming to you to hear who you're going to greet or what feedback you're going to give. Yeah, love it, love it, love it.
I love it. So on
Yeah.
that note too, like being in leadership, we are often out in the yard when it's not yard duty.
Yes,
Most
correct.
most times, which is also part of the job that I actually do love.
Mm.
Um, so with the students at our school, they know, like what you said about the repeated behaviour. They know that if they see me out in the yard, that there will be some sort of interaction, and they
Yeah.
look for it. So, Mrs.
Yeah.
Carey, can you please give us a maths question, please? Like, how
Yes.
often they want
Oh.
maths? I'm like, do you want
Uh,
easy, medium, or hard? Make it hard. So
uh,
I love that too. So that
yeah.
interaction is so important. I have a few new little tricks I've been using out in the yard this year for that
Uh,
connection building again.
yeah.
So if I'm not on yard duty and I'm just
Yeah.
out, with the kids, I have a bouncy ball in my pocket,
Yeah.
and it's great. So, hey, Andrew, catch. Yeah, throw it to
Oh.
me. Throw it to me.
Oh.
Um, and it's so
Oh,
simple.
love it. Yeah.
Oh,
You're
and
lucky
they
Mr.
just,
Murphy's not there, Kim. He'd be
uh,
chasing that ball like crazy. I love that idea. Because
he
again,
can
it's drawing like positive energy and oh, that's so cool.
I also have a skipping rope. Sometimes
Oh.
I take out the skipping rope and they're like, wow, can I have a go? Because it's interesting, because
Mm.
children, well, the children at our school are not skipping quite as well as what they used to, because they just don't
Yep.
have that opportunity. So I
Yep.
take out my personalized hot pink skipping rope and I'm out
Oh,
there and they're like, can I have a go? I'm like, yeah. So let's
yeah.
get going. And so then they say, can you skip? I'm like, yeah. And that kind of blows them away. So that's fun. And another one is my basketball.
Yeah.
So I take that out so that I can, yeah, get in with the grade 5, 6 boys in that basketball group as well. So once again, it's
Oh.
another way of having that connection. And my last little trick is I've got a speaker, and I take that out with my phone, and we have a little disco happening.
Oh, now you got me. If you've got ABBA, I'm there. I am there. Oh, that
So
is so
they're great.
cool. Oh, I actually want to hang out in your schoolyard. I mean, I always want to hang out with you. Now I want to even hang out with you on yard duty. That is so
So
good. Yeah, sorry. You go.
they're just some of my fun ways of developing those connections and relationships.
Mm. But you know what? You're planned. You've thought about it. And it's repeated practice. You know what I mean? Like you've just not done it once. And now when the kids like there would be, I would imagine, knowing the learners I work with, there would be some learners in the yard watching you with other students with that rope or that ball hanging back to see if it's safe, if it's something they could take a risk and be. So if you just did it once, but there'll be new kids because it's like, yeah, other kids are doing it, like it's comfortable. Yeah, I really you need to write a book about this. You are so clever. These are the tips that we need. Like sometimes we forget these things, and as soon as you say, well, not forget them, we don't try them. But when you listen to someone with your level of expertise as a brilliant educator and you've trialed it and tested it, you're not sitting from your office writing this, you're actually doing it. Oh, we need to get you to write this. That's my
And you know
mission.
what? There's well, not sure about that one, Andrew, but I tell you what else, it's actually fun.
Yeah, I know. Having fun at
Yeah.
work is so important. So important. I like, I often, and I get it, I take it as a put up. A lot of people often say to me, you bring great energy to our school, when you come to our school. And I often think that is a choice I make. Because sometimes I travel a long way to go to work in the morning, or so that like you're making that choice to present yourself as a relationship builder in the yard, not as a just coming out there to solve problems or to, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a choice that we make. That's really cool.
I think, Andrea, that it's really important that we do remember, in these challenging times, that we actually have a really great job. Like
Oh,
our profession, it's hard, but
yeah,
it's so rewarding. It really is. And
it,
it is all about those relationships. So I
yeah,
do believe that it's worth the time and the effort.
yeah, I agree with you. And advocating our profession is the most important thing, that we need to do because we need brilliant people like yourself coming into it. Yeah, so cool. Well done. Nice one.
Right, second takeaway
Yeah.
on that note fits in beautifully. So, look, I do think that our profession is so noteworthy, and I do know that in these times that people have different beliefs, and
Mm-hmm.
that's also okay. But one thing that holds really true, no matter what your belief on the way children learn is the importance of really solid lesson structure.
Yeah. Agree.
So my second takeaway is about the lesson structure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think good lesson structure always starts with data collection.
Yeah.
We need to know, where our students are at. We need to know where they're going. So I'm a big, big advocate for the good old cross check. I know that it's been around for a long time, but I
Yeah.
just still believe it is the best way of knowing what our
Yeah.
children can actually do.
Yeah, formative assessment is so important. Look, where I'm sitting here, like my heart is singing. If anyone's walking past a house in Janjucky, they're going, boy, that house is noisy. I mean, checking for understanding, making sure we're noting down about those kids that can sometimes become invisible to us, not on purpose. Yeah.
No, definitely never.
Yeah. I often think about valuing each student by noting down how they're successful and what's next for them is the most important thing with our job. Oh yeah, 100% agree. I don't know in the past, Kim, when I started teaching and 37 years ago, that I had a class of preps and I had 33 preps. And I remember thinking, my job was to make sure that the parents and my boss knew that I knew each of them as individuals. So back then, my cross check was a book, and they all had their name on a
Wow.
page, and I used to write something in it every day about them, as a beginning teacher. And I remember thinking myself that I picked up things about those kids. And when I'd say to their parents, mum or dad or grandparents in a lot of cases where they're carers, something I noticed this today about, about Joe or Josephine or whatever. They went, we've noticed that too. What can we do about that together or something like that? So yeah, you're spot on. You're
Okay.
clever.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And then from that comes the planning. Now, the planning to me is also a very exciting part of teaching,
Mm.
especially collaborative planning.
Oh,
Talking about when your heart sings, Andrea, your heart sings when you get that collaboration and you take an idea and then you build upon it and you bounce it around and you don't necessarily always agree, but then you get to something which is really deep and really authentic. I love that.
oh, yep.
Those people think that the collaboration is actually challenging and it's hard, and you know what, it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is hard, but it is so worth it. And I think to be able to do that, to be able to know where the children are at and where they need to go next, you have to have a really strong understanding of the developmental sequence of whatever it is that they're learning. And
Mm,
teachers get blown away by that sometimes. And we're like, oh my gosh, but how can I? And how can we? Because it's so huge. But I'm always, well, let's just look at the one part that we need now. Let's just focus
yes.
on the small because it is too big otherwise. And I love lessons. And this is one of the things that I think that you've really helped me with as well is lessons that travel, like
Yes.
this sequence of lessons, like things that are built upon, like so that you can keep building upon that and reducing the cognitive load. And the children know where you're coming from and where potentially you're leading them to.
And it reduces the cognitive load of teachers because
Oh,
they're not
absolutely.
seeing that they have to have all these micro lessons that they can see that there is a sequence and they might need to hang with this part of the sequence a little bit longer than their buddy next door, but that's okay because we've agreed on our sequence of lessons. Yeah, yeah, huge, huge cheering here, Kim.
Yeah. So then again, once again, something that I really had solidified from yourself was the importance of having that aside in your lesson.
Mm,
The kids need to know why it is that they're learning what they're learning. So
mm.
making that connection for them to me is really important. And then I love a good old hook. I'm still a
Yeah.
hook person. Like, what other better way can you set something if you do, set it in a story? Um, of that maths activity, and most people that know you will know this one too, I'm sure. The good old chicken feed story
Oh,
where the
yes.
chicken or feed all gets dropped, and you're like,
Mm,
what, how can we organize it?
yeah.
Um, well, I that's one of my favorite activities, but it's always better as a hook if you've got a great story to go with it.
Yeah.
So, I would always talk about, my grandma and what great relationship we had and how she would take me out to feed the chickens. And I would be so little and I'd be carrying this great big thing of chicken food. And then how I'd, accidentally might trip and you're there with the children and then you're actually enacting it out. And next minute you do trip and what happens? All that Unifix goes flying everywhere. And
Yeah.
that hook has got them straight in. So I think the hook setting that scene for whatever it is that you're about to do is so important.
I know. And John Hattie talks about it in terms of building commitment, like that early commitment in your lesson that you're going to have, that commitment to like go deeper into the lesson. So dig deep. Yeah, nice work. I love it. Great tip. Great tip.
And then the review, like the review for me is really important. Like it needs to be connected to something you've learnt before.
Yeah.
Not great big long, I don't want to be there for 10, 15 minutes.
No.
I want it short, sharp, and shiny. Like this is what we've learnt before and this is where it fits.
Yep.
Good warm ups do exactly the same thing in my mind. I
Mm.
love those warm ups that also, so I'm thinking about maths here and how they can then just travel across as well. That to me is so important. The review is really important. Then
And
this is
thinking
something I
about,
love that you've modeled for me,
go.
Andrea,
Yeah, go
is
for it.
we know learning intentions are important. When I've seen you model it, I'm just like, whoa, you're so passionate about it. And the kids we're learning this and it's actually really important. And then it's not just kind of there in your big book of learning or on the board. You refer back to it. What are we learning again? Oh, we're learning to do, that's right. And da 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 da. And you keep referring back to it in the lesson. So don't just have that learning intention, but make sure that it's a living part of your lesson.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
that
interrupted you before.
no, no, no. I can't remember. I'm so excited. I was I follow someone that works teaches in New South Wales, and she's also always in the classroom posting how she co-constructs her success criteria with her students. And you know where I sit with that. And I shared her post the other day, and she said, "Oh, thank you, Andrew, for sharing." I said, "I'm sharing it because I totally believe in it. Like if we can't get the students involved in it." They see it's your work. That's nothing to do with me. Mrs. H has, she's written it, she's put it on the board. It's like her space. So I think you're right. Like if we want them to engage and self-regulate with the success criteria and self-assess, they need to own it.
Was about to talk about that too, because the success criteria for me, they have to be co-constructed
Yeah,
with the students. Like, that's how we do get their buy-in. Yeah, I love it. I love
oh,
co-constructing them with the
yeah,
children so that they know how to be successful. Then there's always the good fun of the application part of the lesson. Like I always think that that's really good fun. But probably the most important part is the explicit teaching.
yeah,
And I such a big believer about
Yeah.
explicit teaching. Explicit teaching to me, though, has to be at the point of need.
Mm-hmm.
It actually has to be really tuned in to what that particular group of children need. And as we know, for me, my belief is that the whole class, they can't all need exactly the same thing at the same time. So I really
Yeah.
love explicitly teaching because I know the developmental sequence, I know what it is that they know, and I know where they're going. So I love to teach them what they need to know next. And I love their excitement about that.
Yeah. And I think something about explicit teaching, and again, this is what I'm working with the school on Monday, so this is making good connections, um, is that as you do, you know the sequence of learning, you know the content. So
Yes.
to implement explicit teaching with whole class, small group, one-on-one, you know, whoever, to teach explicitly, you have to know the content. You have to know the book that you're doing the book study on. You have to understand the vocab. You have to understand the mathematics behind it. And how empowering is that when you know that and your teaching is so explicit that you get these little like light bulb like really appearing out of the kid's head, like, I've got this, I've got this. Yeah, totally agree. Oh, this is cool. You're doing well.
So then but also, like for me, part of lesson structure is, of course, the use of the enabling and extending prompts. And, I really have valued the work that I've done with you with different staff on the use of enabling and extending prompts. And I think that we are really good at enabling. And sometimes I worry about the extension
Yeah.
because I really think that, children love a challenge. And sometimes, we're a little bit nervous about taking them to those highest
Mm.
places, but I really do think that if we give them that opportunity and the support to get there, then they will rise to what it is that we expect.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's wise words. Wise words. Good
So
work.
I love a good problem solving lesson then on that note in maths
Oh,
because
I
I
bet you.
love it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love a good problem
And
solving in which they can really like be supported but not too much so
yep.
that they can struggle a little bit but get somewhere, because that is when you do see the light bulbs.
Yeah, and also you see that that kind of even that changing body language,
Yes.
like, I've got this, right? I did this and my strategy worked or it didn't work and I found another one. Yeah, I agree. It's very cool. Cool.
That body language happens too when you have good learning goals. So, I really am a big, big believer in students need to know what it is they're learning for. They need to be able to articulate it.
Yeah.
Recently, I was in the passage and there was the tutoring teacher was going past with a couple of her students, and they were just like, they were just bubbling away. They were so excited. I'm like, what is going on here? And they said, oh, well, these have been our goals and today we achieved them. And I'm like, what, really? And they said, do you want to come and have a look? And I'm like, yeah. So we went in and they could talk, they could explain everything that they'd been doing and why they'd been doing it, where they'd started and where they were going, where they got to and where they were going to next. So
Wow.
without good goal setting and without that feedback that the teacher had been giving them, they can't do that. And
What
we
amazing
will engage
regulation
students at
though.
school.
Focus and regulation,
Yeah.
goal setting does do that. Ah, that like that's the best part about being an AP because as you know, back in the day I was an AP. I mean, I think I was an AP for 10 years or 9 years. But having that interaction with all the kids across the school was so cool. And I had a brilliant staff, and like you have, and I loved how I was part of the celebration of learning, not just the other parts. So that was really
Yes.
cool. Yeah, you enjoyed that. Very
So
cool.
the very last part of the lesson structure that I think I would like to mention is about the reflection.
Yeah.
And reflection, I know, is really hard as a classroom teacher. It would be the part that often would just kind of fall away. And
Yeah.
and when I've been working with other teachers and coaching, but Kim, that's the part that kind of gets lost as well. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand that. But I remember when Andrea told me that the reflection is your last teaching moment in that lesson. So it is so important to make sure that you do prioritize it and make sure that it happens.
Yeah, it's kind of like that book, the other bookends, book stop on the bookcase, right? You've done all that, you've sorted all your books, and if you don't put that there, they can all slide off.
Absolutely.
That's how I see it. Yeah. Oh, nice work. Nice work. I probably forgot to mention that, Kim, that, you've been an AP, you've been a learning specialist, you've been a coach, and I can tell you now, everyone will be listening to this chat thinking, wow, this lady or this educator really knows her stuff. And guess what, folks? You are right onto it. She does know her stuff. She does know her stuff. Excellent.
My last takeaway is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and it's to do with mathematics. So I just feel that quantity has to be tied to everything we do in mathematics. An understanding of quantity.
Mm,
Sometimes if we rush past it because we think, oh well, they've got that understanding now, but they really have to have a strong visual that they can pull on. So I'm passionate about it. I want that connection between the number name, the symbol, and the quantity. Now,
mm.
research, I'm teaching you now. I'm not teaching you because you already know this well and truly. But
No, I love a good
research
reminder, Kim. I'm always learning. That's one thing I will always admit. I'm always learning. I love it.
research shows that whenever a child or student is learning something new, that they do require a materials to be able to
Mm,
get that understanding into their head. Doesn't matter whether they are a kinder child or a year 12.
yeah.
So materials are useful throughout a child's education. So it's really, really important that we have that sense of quantity. So I just love certain materials.
Yeah.
So I've got a few I'd like to show and share with you, if
Oh,
that's okay.
yeah.
Once again, these are nothing new to teachers, but I really just want to reinforce that they are things that can really help and support that visual. And it's the good old bee kebab.
Oh my gosh. Could not live
I
without
love
them.
it because have a look. We can see straight away. We can
Yeah.
supertise. We can see the quantity of it, and then we can use this for so many great warm ups.
Mm,
And the great one, that one of my very favourite, is good old tug of war, where we
yeah.
we share and we have to use our language because as teaching good mathematicians we need to be able to talk about our maths.
Yeah, love
So
it.
I love this. I
Now,
love the good old
just
B frame.
is is that on a metal skewer? Like, how have you made yours?
Okay, so I've done both, but this is my preferred way of making them.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can make them on a kebab.
Yeah. What have you used there?
We've used coat hangers.
No. See have you?
Yep.
That's
So I've
clever.
used metal coat hangers
Yeah.
and just snipped
Yep.
them.
Yep.
I've got my beads, of
Yep.
course, color
Yeah.
coded for your
And they're a
supervising.
good size, Kim. Your beads are a nice size too.
They're a really good size. And on the end, they've got just, I don't know what they're called, but you get them from Bunnings.
Yeah, they're the
So,
plaster wally thingy bobbies.
yeah,
Yeah,
those
that's
things
they're
there
it.
as well.
Oh,
I
well done.
love it. I love it. Now, we know that a child to learn something, it takes 200, for an average child, it takes 200 times for them to be, like to be able to use it before they can actually have a really solid visual in their mind that they can then pull on. And talking about problem solving before, that's how we use problem solving. We
Yeah.
have to have a visual in our mind that we can pull out and use. So once again, another
Mm.
great way of doing it.
Mm.
So I love supertising, Andrea, and I think that supertising can happen in any grade from prep right through to grade 6.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a really important part of it, of learning maths. Did you know that bees can supertise?
No.
Apparently they can supertise up to about 3. So supertising is really important for me. Now the next thing that's really important is always organising collections rather than just counting.
Yeah.
And I'm
Great.
passionate about counters being the same size. Can you see those ones there? Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Schooling them. Same size, colour. It doesn't matter what the size or colour is,
Mm.
but the fact is that for the child to make that visualization of it, they have to be the same. So I'm
Yep.
really big
Okay.
on counters.
Yep.
And I love these ones because they've got an actually great feel to them and I love
They've got a
the
nice
sound they
sound.
make.
Yeah. 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 Can you just hold
I
those
love
up again? Just one
sure.
so we can get the okay. I
Can you
like
see
how
that
they're
one? Yep.
square too, because then we could use them across to arrays or even measuring area.
I was just about to mention arrays. So
Yeah.
with arrays are another one of my very, very favorite things. So they are great for making arrays. And I just love it. Like there's nothing like a good hooray for an array.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. So as soon as I
Yeah.
see an array with the students, I'm always hooray for an array. And
Oh,
they
wow.
just
Love it.
then they adore it, and then they're all out. I'm like, can we see any arrays around? And it's amazing when you start looking around just how many arrays there are.
Oh, they're
And
everywhere.
arrays are so important for our multiplicative thinking. Like we can just turn them around, we can see all these different aspects of it. So I just think arrays are really, really important and should be part of everything we possibly do when we're
Yep.
organising. Now, I love a really good tens tree.
Oh, a tens tree.
Tens tree. Do you know how to make a tens tree?
No, I do not, but I do want to learn.
So a tens tree, you'll have to visualize it because I can't
Yep.
really show you in my hands,
No.
but you'll be able to do this. A tens tree is really 3 rows of 3. So you've
Yep.
got an array, you've got 3 3s,
Yep.
and down the bottom you've got one more, which makes the trunk. And you've
Oh,
got yourself a tens tree. Now this is great, Andrew, because now I can play with my
stop,
partner.
stop, hang on, stop it. I have been teaching for 37 years and I've never known a tens tree.
Well, it's great because you can make a forest of 10 trees, so you can differentiate this very quickly. So if you need 10, you can have one tens tree. If you need to work up to 100, you can have 10 tens trees. Like it's up to what that student needs, what number they need to work with.
Oh,
Now,
please.
you've organised it. You've got an array there. You've got 3 3s. You've got 3 3s is 9 and one more is 10. This is like lots and lots of maths happening in one activity. And now with a partner, what we can do is we can play a little game and we can say, oh, I've come along. Would you close your eyes? And then the person closes their eyes. And then you just take a couple of pieces out of that tens tree. So you might take out 2 pieces
Yeah.
and they can be from wherever in the tens tree. And
Yeah.
then the student opens their eyes and they say, oh, I can see that you've taken 2 of my tens tree because I know that 8 plus 2 is 10.
Oh,
Or
stop
I
it.
know that 8 take away 2 is 10. Or I know that 60 take away 22. Like once again, it's
Yeah.
not just the maths that you're doing, but you're actually creating the visualization
I
of
was
it.
going to say.
Children love tens trees. Then, Andrea,
No,
you
no,
can say,
stop
well,
this.
okay,
Love it.
here's what else could we have? Well, I don't know. They come up with amazing things like creativity and curiosity is what I love to encourage in maths. They'll come up with an eights car or a
Yes.
sixth bird or a I
Yep,
don't know,
yep,
like
yep.
it's endless what they'll come up with, but they come up with their own little creations for the representation of the organization of that number. And then they're like, oh, Andrea's really good at making 6 birds. Let's all do 6 birds.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm thinking
it's
of a
just
15
endless.
butterfly.
Yes.
Starting to visualize it already.
Oh my gosh, it's 15 butterfly.
Yeah, so
Thinking
the
about that one.
wings 2 and 3, and then 5 down the middle.
Love it.
Mm.
See, you're already thinking too.
Yeah,
So I
no,
just
because
love
you've
that.
invited me to. You've invited me to think about it. Thank you.
Another one that I really love is, of course, Unifix. But with Unifix, I'm very passionate about it being when I'm in the classroom, I will have all my Unifix in tens.
Yep.
And as you can see here, I've got 5 and 5. So I've done it into 2 different colors so that once again, this helps with that supertizing for anything that we are
Yeah.
then using Unifix for. So a really good old fashioned one, but one that children love is a good old snap it. So they all walk around with it behind their back and they go snap it. And then they'll show some. So I've got 3 there. So
Yep.
Andrea, how many have I got hidden still behind my back?
Oh, I would say 7, but can we check?
Well, can you explain your thinking first?
Well, I know that 3 and 7 make 10. And I know that because you've got 3, I'd have 2 black ones left. And I know there's 5 blue. So I'm thinking that would be 7.
Oh, so look, yes, you're right. Look, 2 black ones there and another 5 blue makes 7.
Yeah.
So good old snap it. Really
Mm.
easy. Like what a great way for reviewing or
Yep.
revising. And it's also can be a really quick warm up as well for
So
your
Kim,
10 stacks.
could it be that each of those Unifix are worth 10 and we could be working with our 10s to 100? So
Absolutely. Why
bridging,
not?
yeah. Yeah.
Or what about if this was one whole and we were
Yeah.
working with
Mm.
decimals?
Yep,
Okay,
definitely.
so there are lots of different options for that one, and I adore that as a warm up and as an activity. Where was that one I was going to show you? Oh, here's a really good one that I absolutely love. And this one's called Hands Up, Hurry Up.
Oh,
Have you done that one
new?
before?
No, 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 we'll learn.
No. So hands up, hurry up. So I'll be hands up, hurry up means you've got to use your hands, okay?
Yep.
And like you can differentiate, it could be one hand. So, like maybe for our boundies at the start, it might be show me 3, hands up, hurry up. And they'll go like this.
Yep.
So it's the supervising component of it.
Yep.
Or it might be using 2 hands, show me 3. Okay, so now they're
Ah,
thinking of 2
love
and
it.
1. Okay, show me, 6. It might be 3 and 3, could
Yep.
be 4 and 2, and they all love it.
Yeah.
Hands in your laps, hands up,
Hands
hurry
up,
up.
hurry up.
And you say it really quick, hands up, hurry up, and they go like
Yeah.
this.
And that's the hook, right?
Then,
Yeah. Go, go,
yeah,
go. Sorry.
oh, sorry, and then you can get with a partner. So now we've got to negotiate between us. I'm going to put up, 4, and we're making 6. How many do you need to put
Ah,
up?
okay. Love it. Yep. And then that brings in
So
that speaking and listening around mathematics, that collaboration around mathematics. Yeah, I love it.
right,
Could
last warm up. This
can
is
I
one of my very, very,
can I
very
just
favorite
ask
ones.
this thing though, Kim? Can I
Sure.
just ask
Yes,
with the hands
absolutely.
up, hurry up, hands up, hurry up,
Hands up, hurry up.
hands up, hurry up. Could you say something like, "Show me half of 10,"
Ooh,
and
there
they
you
would have
go.
to show you 5 in different ways,
I love that. Why not?
or
I haven't done it.
two more than 3, so they actually have to calculate before their hands up. Would that work, or is that taking it away?
No, I think that would work perfectly. I haven't done it, but that sounds amazing. See, we're
Yeah.
collaborating.
Yeah, I know. So cool. Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the other one, and it's a good old fashioned one, but don't ever think that this doesn't work. And I think this works for all children, even grade 6s will love it. So
Okay.
it's just a good old handful. So, you get handfuls of your good old tiles.
Yeah.
And of course, what do good mathematicians do first? They estimate it.
Yeah.
They estimate that range.
Yeah.
And that still remains to be a difficulty for most children. But we're
Yep.
trying to build that sense of quantity. So it's
Yep.
really important. And then I'll be like, cool, now let's organize it. Now you might have tens frames, but why always use tens frames? Let's see how they can come up with a way to organize whatever their handful is. And I've actually seen this done in a classroom for probably pretty much most of a month. And the
Yep.
children still love it and
Yep.
take it somewhere different every day. So
Yeah.
it's the kind of activity that you can be like, well, okay, now organize it. How many do you have? How do you know? Record your thinking. All these things that good mathematicians do. But then I love
And
layering of materials.
yeah,
So
and
when they've got it out and that visual is there, I don't want them to pack it up. I want them to make it with something else. And for me, for place value, because place value is so important, I'm going to use the icy sticks in bundles of 10
yeah.
that they have, of course, created. And
Yes.
I will use these no matter what year level they are in to some
Mm,
degree. So that, okay, we've got 34. Show me 34 with your icy
yeah.
sticks.
Yeah.
Okay, what's one more? One less. What's 10 more? 10 more. Oh, can you imagine if I could put it down? What would it look like? If I take one away, what would it look like?
Yeah,
All
nice.
those lovely questions that we know so well, but they are just so important for maths.
Mm.
Made it now with MAB. That's fantastic. What about the beaded number line?
Oh,
I adore these, and I
me
will
too.
never have a classroom without one. And you'll see sometimes you can buy them these days, and each 10 is a different color. But for me, each of the 10s has to alternate between 2 colors just to make it easy. Okay, so there's my 34. How did you know that?
Yeah,
It's
it's
just great
beautiful.
teaching, isn't it? Like there are 3 of the 10s and 4 ones make 34.
Oh.
Now I've got 2 different representations, 3. I've got
Did you make that,
the
Kim?
tiles.
Did
Sorry?
you make it? Did you make that one?
Oh no, but one of the teachers in my school did, so I've borrowed it.
Oh, how beautiful.
He's
I
made
love
this
it.
one.
It's
And it's a
gorgeous.
really good size too, because some of them are too big and some are too small, and this is
I
really good.
love it.
A 34. And also, I haven't got one here, but we've got ones that the teachers have made at school that are on elastic using this size beads, and they also
Wow.
have 120 beads. And I'm passionate about going over 100.
Yep.
Always go to 120 so that we
Yeah.
cross over.
That bridge. Totally
Now
agree.
you've got a number line, you've got the tiles, you've got the icy sticks. Okay, why not make it now with a base 10 like with some MAB? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got how many visuals have we now got? We've got 4 visuals.
Yeah.
And we've done maths with us. We've done one more, one less, 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, whatever it is that that child needs. Okay, well, now you're going to write it. Okay, so let's write it on a calculator.
Yeah.
Like, let's have some fun with it. All right, you can do that. Let's get our 120 chart, cut it up, lay it out in a number line, and
Yeah.
find it on there.
Yeah. Cool.
So that we're doing all those multi-layering. Like, what? How much maths is in that? And, like, the kids will just come back to it again and again and again. And
Mm.
of course, if
Mm.
they're older, you can do, factors, you can do multiples, you can do fractions, you can do division. Like, there's so much that you can do.
Yeah. And I think the bonus is, and I'm hoping you agree with me, but I think you will, if we use the same maths tools or equipment throughout the school, the students are just building up their knowledge about all the possibilities in it. Like, how do I use that kebab in so many different ways? They know how the potential of the material. So each teacher's not starting with a new group of mathematicians and teaching them how to use the tool. They know how to use it. So you're just taking it to transferring it to multiple situations. Yeah, I think that's.
And
Oh,
you,
I want to go to
so
a classroom.
I know, so do I.
Oh, you've
No,
inspired me,
it's
Kim.
no, well, as you've always inspired me. So
You're very
yeah, so
kind.
now that they are my three big takeaways, and I know that
Oh,
they're not, nothing that's too out of the ordinary, but I think they are things that will work. They work for all children, and even though children have changed and things change, these things still work.
well, I have to disagree with you that they're not out of the ordinary. I think they're exceptional because they're tried and proven by yourself. And that's what teachers want to have. They want things that they know other teachers have worked with in their classroom and tweaked and collaborated with other learners, other teachers about. You've blown me away. I'm going to be watching this. Like, I didn't have my notepad here because I know I'm going to record it and edit it. But when I edited this, everyone, I'm going to have my notepad to remind me of all these ideas because I'm going to have a long list. I think I have to use a top 10 chart, which is one of my favorite reflection tools with this. And I'm going to go beyond 10 because you've blown me out of the water today, Kim Carey. You have like inspired me. You've given me energy. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Well, can I say thank you to you, because I think your ability to understand what makes a great educator is absolutely amazing. But then your ability to help us all to be the best that we possibly can
That's
be is
kind.
just beyond compare. Your passion is so, so contagious, and I will be forever grateful for the impact that you've had on my life, both as a educator but also as a personal friend. You are absolutely amazing, and we
Well,
all do love you.
oh gosh, I am and tearing up, which is that's not supposed to happen on these chats, but as I said to you, and mind you guys, this took a little bit of nudging to get her on here, and I wasn't going to give up. I left some space, I left some time, but it was you were never not going to be on this chat because like you're part of my tribe and you had to be here. So and your energy today has been amazing. And like we are all busy, and that's life. I have got some amazing other friends who have different small businesses to me, and they're busy, families are busy. But for you to take the time out of your day to spend and graciously share your expertise, I will be forever grateful for this time together. And I'm so glad we've got it recorded because I'll look back on it very fondly, even though you got me crying, very fondly. And I think it'll be something, I know it'll be something I'll cherish for a very long time. So, Kim Carey, I applaud you and I
I
thank
applaud
you.
you. Thank you.
And I just can't wait next time you and I are sharing a glass of Prosecco or a coffee. And I hope that's not too far away. Thank you so much.
Thank you.